Hey guys, this video is a beginner's guide to the basics of skin materials for any character. In this tutorial, we're not going to download 16K or even 8K textures to get all the pores and details. Instead, we are going to learn how we can achieve good results with what we have. This, for example, is a Genesis 9 character with 4K textures, and this is a Metahuman with 2K textures, both using the same logic. In this example, we are going to use one of the default Genesis 9 characters, but you can use metahumans or any other character as well. So you can see I've imported the character into Blender now, and I'm using the official Daz to Blender add-on, but you can use any add-on you want. Now, I'm going to select the character, and to make our materials, we'll head to the shader editor on any part of the body and we'll start making the material. You can see the setup is generated by the Daz to Blender add-on by default, but we're not going to use it. We are going to use something that we have built and is easy to understand. So I'm going to add a Principate BSDF node here, and I'm also going to add a material output, right? And I'll connect this to the material output. Now, it doesn't work by default because it's set to render this material on cycle, so we'll set this to all as well, and now it's working. Now I'm going to duplicate these textures, and we have head D, which is the diffuse map, and we'll connect it to the base color, and we have head R, which is the roughness map, so we'll connect it to the roughness. And you can see right now the base color really doesn't look very good. It is very low quality, not well polarized, and it has all the reflections and the lighting baked into it. It even has the pitch fuzz baked into it. But that's what we have, and we don't want to download any other textures. We are going to work with what the developers have given us. I'm going to duplicate this roughness map, this texture basically, to open its directory to see what other textures the developers are giving us. They are giving us, for example, head SO, which stands for specular occlusion, and I'm going to use this. What a specular occlusion is basically when the light gets trapped inside the pores and can't really reach the camera anymore, it doesn't capture as much reflection or wetness. That's why we have something called SO, a specular occlusion. Now you can see it's actually picking up the UDIM, so I'm going to delete this. I don't want the UDIM to be used. I'll hit N and uncheck detect UDIMs, and I'll select this again. And then to connect this, I'll open the specular tab and connect it here. But you can see it's actually wrong. It's not the right way. Right now the pores are white and the skin is black. We don't want this. We want the opposite. So I'll use a map range, and I'll set the minimum to 1 and the maximum to 0. And I don't want this to be a perfect 1 to 0 range, so I'll set the 1 to 0.6 and the maximum to, for example, 0.1. And I'll connect this to the IOR, a specular IOR, by the way. And this is what we'll get so far. I'm going to take another duplicate of this, and I'm going to open the head normal map this time. I'll set it to the non-color. This is head normal map, non-color, and I'll connect this to the normal. We are also going to need to add a normal map node in between, and this is going to give us all the details, wrinkles and pores of our textures. Now right now the skin looks too dry for me, so I'm going to add a color ramp to play with the values. We'll just bring up the dark values a little bit to, for example, 0.1, and I'll bring down the white values to, for example, 0.9. This is going to be a bit more wet, a bit more hyper-realistic. The next input we are going to need, which the developers are not giving us, we do have SSS, but it's the color of the subsurface scattering. We don't need it. Instead, we are going to open the subsurface panel, and you can see we have something called weight. This is the weight of the subsurface, but we are not going to just bring this up to whatever values. Instead, we are going to use one of the textures that we already have. We want something that has brighter areas on the lips, the nose, the eye bags, and the ears. So we could either get this from roughness, from specular occlusion. Specular occlusion is not really a good idea for this type of map. So we are going to preferably take this from roughness or our color. I'm going to separate my color into different channels, and you can see this one looks pretty nice in my opinion. I'm going to invert this with a map range. I'll set the minimum to 1 and the maximum to 0. Right now it's too strong, so I'll bring this down to, for example, 0.6 or 0.5, and I'll connect this to the weight. You can see we now have introduced some subsurface scattering to the skin of our character. I'll probably set this to 0.8. It actually looks better in my opinion. So you can see this was the before, which was very dry, and this is the after. Now there is another problem we can fix. Right now the skin is too pale, it doesn't have enough color and detail into it. So what I can do is that I can use a brightness and contrast node, and I'll increase the contrast to, for example, 0.2 or 0.15, and then I'll use a hue saturation node to fix the oversaturated areas. For example, I bring this down to 0.9, and you can see this already looks far better than what we had here. It looks more alive, more colored. Another thing I want to do, I want to add a mix color node, set it to multiply, and set the factor to 1 to change the tone of the skin texture I'm working with. So right now it's too dark, I'll set it to, for example, 0.95, I'll set the saturation to 0.05, and I'll set the hue to 0.03. And you can see it looks much more natural right now. The roughness is a bit too strong, so I'll probably just bring down the dark values back to 0. So again, before, after. Now, instead of copy and pasting all of these nodes that I have made into other parts of the body, right? We have to, for example, fix the body right now. They have different colors. Instead of copy and pasting it, what I can do, which is far better, is that I can use select all of them, and then use Ctrl G to group them inside a group node. Right? What this does is that it allows us to change anything that is inside of these nodes, and it will take the change to all other parts of the body as well, and we don't have to, for example, change the tone of the skin on every single material or body part. So first let me fix this. The first input, this one, should be the color, so I'll bring this up to the color, right? The second input is the specular, right? I'll bring this down and I'll call it specular. This factor is our roughness, so I'll bring this up under the color and I'll call this roughness. And this color is our normal map, right? So I'll call this normal. And now I have one simple single group node that does all the changes I want it to. We can call this, for example, skin shader. And then what I'll do is that I'll copy this and paste it inside of the body as well. Let's connect it to the output of the body. And we'll do exactly what we did for the face material. So now you can see all the body parts are using the same skin shader to create the color. Now if I open this, I can change the color, for example, to something bluish to get, for example, like an alien-like skin, and it's going to change the color across all the groups and thus we don't have to change it separately in each different body part. Or we can, for example, increase the contrast or whatever we want. Okay, so now that we have the skin shader complete, it's time to do the eyebrows and the eyelashes, right? It's actually very easy to do this. First, again, we'll add a principal BSDF with a material output. I set this to all, and I'll copy these textures here. This texture is the opacity of our eyebrows. I'm not sure why it's not visible. Okay, this texture is the opacity of our eyebrows. You can see we have two separate materials, but both of them are using the same textures, so it's safe to remove this bottom one. This texture is the opacity of our eyebrows. So I'm going to bring this here. And this one is the thinness, or basically the thickness of the eyebrows. And this is our normal. Now we don't really need a normal. We can extract it from either thinness or the opacity with a bump map. But since we have it, let's just use it. I'll connect the normal map to a normal map node. And you can see it's going to give us something like this. And for the color, I'm going to bring this color out. I'm going to add a shader, a translucent shader, and I'm going to connect the color to both of them. And I'll also set the color to something like dark brown. Let's set the roughness to 0.4. And now we need to cut out the eyebrows to introduce the transparent areas. We can do that by adding a mix shader, a transparent shader. The transparent goes to the top and the hair goes to the bottom, and we can use our opacity here. Now, the reason I'm not connecting the opacity to the alpha is because we are using a translucent shader. The translucent shader is allowing the light to pass through the mesh to create these lighter areas. You can see the before and after. It's not a great effect, but it really does help, especially with very lush hair or or basically the actual hair, not the eyebrows and the eyelashes. So if the color was much brighter, you can see the entire mesh gets brighter. That is why we want to apply the transparency after we have applied our translucent shader. And then we have something called thickness or thinness. And basically what this does is that it's going to tell some of these eyebrows are thinner than others. So we can connect this to the alpha here, and you can see it's going to make them much less dense, right? It's not that strong, but it's going to really take effect. But if we don't have this texture, what we can do is that we could simply just bring this alpha down to, for example, 0.5, 0.6, or whatever value that we want. But now that we do have it, let's just use it. And for the eyelashes, it's really the same. So I'm going to copy all of these values, go to the eyelashes, paste this, set this to all, select this material output so that it's our primary material output. And let's replace the textures we have. So this one is the normal. I'll connect the normal to the normal. And this one is our opacity. I'll connect the opacity to opacity. And you can see we have bottom eyelashes and top eyelashes. You can already see the difference. I'm going to remove the upper eyelashes because I don't want them to have separate colors or properties. And right now it looks good. We don't want to use this anymore because we don't really have its value, and we want to set it to 1 or at least 0.8. And this looks much better. Let's actually bring the eyebrows down to 0.6. We don't want to use this anymore. We could have used the mass node set to multiply, but it's really not going to be that different. And you can see our eyebrows and eyelashes are done as well. So now let's do the eyes. For the eyes, we'll start by the tears. To fix the tears, we can add a principed BSDF, again a material output. It can be set to cycle or all, doesn't really matter. I'm going to set the color to 1, set the roughness to 0, set the IOR to 1.33, and I'm going to set the transmission to 1. And again, since both the eye moisture right and left have the same properties, I'm going to go to edit mode, select the eye moisture right and assign it to the eye moisture left. Now you are actually going to have a eye right as well, but I have simply removed that and it's automatically assigned to the left as well. So I'm going to use the same tier material that we have on the tears for the eye moisture as well. And the tears right now look a bit too dark, so we are going to fix that. To fix it, we are going to add a mix shader, add a transparent BSDF and connect it to the mix shader. Now it looks much better, but still we can take this further by adding a light pass and telling this we want only the shadow ray and the diffuse ray to be transparent and not any other rays. Now to do the iris, we can go to the eye material, again add a material output, principed BSDF, connect it here, and we can duplicate and select our textures. Now eyes are almost always just the color and the normal map. The rest we can just fix by hand. Let's connect the normal to the normal, and this is how it looks right now. To fix this, it looks way too shiny, right? It's inside some sort of watery fluid and it looks way too wet for being inside water. So we are going to take the roughness up to 0.8 and take the specular down to 0.1. And this is going to look much better. And then set the IOR to 1.33. Now if we had the specular and roughness set to 0.5, you can see the IOR is actually going to affect it a lot. So it matters to set the IOR to 1.33. Again, roughness to 0.8 and IOR to 0.1. And you can see the eyes suddenly look much better. So again, this is the after, this is the before. For the eyelashes as well, this is the before, this is the after. For the eyebrows, this is the before, this is the after. So you can see how easy it was to change all of these properties and make our skin material. And again, we can just go inside of this and change it to whatever color we want. And that was it for creating the skin material. Now you can imagine how much better it would have been if we had displacement maps or other maps to introduce into our shader. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.